This is a Tactical Genius production. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online.
Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. This is our second stint today in the VP4 2022 Black Ball World Championships. We've had a match earlier on this afternoon which was very one-sided. Suffice to say that it wasn't really a looker of a match. It was between Mark Shark and who the hell was it he was playing again? I've totally forgotten. He was playing Charlie Bravo, and Charlie has many miles to travel to get into this game. He struggled, and Mark did more than enough to win comfortably by 13 racks to 2. There's also a match that's been reset for whatever reason, I don't know. This match here, Glenn O'Brien and Little Wolf, there was a forfeit by Little Wolf and now it's been reset. I don't know what the reason behind it. Maybe Steve can enlighten us on that. Good evening to Slim. I think that's Azad, isn't it? Good evening. So we've got two matches tonight. The first match is a match that's on screen. We've got Popman and Legit Matthew, excuse me. Now, if I can get my buttons to work, I'll show you the second match. Now, these matches are going to overlap because this one starts at the top of the hour, and we have a crossover at 8 p.m. in an hour's time, because this match is unlikely to be finished within the hour. I'd be surprised if it was. But the second match is this one, between Cheeky Chico and Quagmire. Cheeky Chico from England, Quagmire from the Irish Republic, and that we'll move over to that one once the other one's finished. So
good evening.
Good evening to Steve. Welcome aboard. Welcome to VP4 TV. We're good to go, so you can give us a sound check, guys, what you think. Steve coming through loud and clear. I'll turn my volume down a little bit in my headset.
I should be good. Nothing's changed.
Now, what did Slim say there? Oh, Steve, that's a question to ask you. What happened with the match between what was it, Glenn O'Brien and Little Wolf? Because when I came in this afternoon, there was a forfeit by Little Wolf.
Yeah, he overslept.
Oh, he missed it, right?
Yeah, so that one's been reset. They agreed to reschedule.
That's good. I think Spud Boy's happy with the volume. Right, so we've had another one-sided match this afternoon. It wasn't something you would get out of bed for. Let's hope we get something a bit more competitive. Popman's been around the game long enough to pop balls. He makes mistakes. I haven't seen legit Matthew, so I haven't a clue what level he's at. We'll soon find out, though. And then, as I mentioned, we have the second match. If I can get this bloody thing to work, hang on. Oh no, wait a minute, I'm hitting the wrong button. Just hang on a minute. Right, that second match is Cheeky Chico and Quagmire. Again, Quagmire has been around, but I've never really watched him either. So I would put Cheeky Chico as a favourite, but that's only purely guesswork. But again, we'll see. So we're going to miss the start of that match. Now, this is assuming everybody turns up. I think Popman is here. Now, let's have a look. Is legit Matthew around? Oh yeah, he's in the room practicing. So the good sign is both players are here, so we should be fine and good to go. That's always a good sign when the two players are here. So I think we can only watch this for the first few racks and see what happens to make any sort of judgment. But I would put Popman as a favourite, only knowing that he's been around long enough at the game to use his head a bit more. But say legit Matthew might be a dark horse. We can't judge anybody without seeing them. So we wait with bated breath. What we are, a minute and a half away. Now I've got to tell you a story, guys. This is true, and you know it's true. I wouldn't make it up. You'll laugh at this, and this must be something to do with age, Steve. It's got to do with age. I got to work this morning, and I'm sitting in the car, and of course the problem our store isn't open 24 hours anymore. It opens at 6 a.m. and we start our shift at 6 a.m. So I'm sitting in the car, and at 5:30, I'm listening to the radio. I decide I'm going to get out of the car and go to the store, because you have to get in the fire exit door. There's usually somebody wandering around to let you in. So I put my face mask on in the car, and then I'm looking around the passenger seat. I'm saying, "Where's my glasses?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, I must have left them on the table when I was washing my face this morning. Oh, they must be lying there at home." And I get out of the car, and then I get in the store, and I went to my locker, put my wallet in my locker and stuff, and then I took my glasses off my face and put the glasses in the locker. So that's a sign of old age. I mean, I've got out of the car. I didn't even have the second thought to actually feel my face to see if I had my glasses on. But I actually had the glasses on my face. And then I took them off because I can't wear the face mask when I'm working with my glasses on because they steam up. So I always take them off. So that's a sign of something catching up with me. I'm sitting there, glasses on, don't know I've got my glasses on, assume I've left them at home. So maybe you can explain that. Oh dear. And I'm laughing and people are wondering why I'm laughing, but I never told anybody at work. I was too embarrassed.
Well, this will be interesting. I think Legit Matthew is definitely at a disadvantage just because he's from the U.S. And he probably, unless he's played a lot of bar table 8-ball here, if he has done that, then he might have a pretty good idea how to play the game. Otherwise, he's probably not going to be too savvy. And that's pretty much a requirement at this game.
Well, I'm looking at his rating, and that rating tells me he's played probably 2 racks of black ball and lost them and thought, well, that's enough of that for me. That's where I'm coming from. But we'll see anyway. So, Popman, at the bottom of the screen. Here we go.
I think the main thing is just understanding the strategy.
Yeah, that's one thing that's lacking in a lot of relative inexperienced players. Like earlier on this afternoon, there was absolutely very little strategy involved. Mark Sharp just picked around and picked off racks. Well, straight away we've got a re-rack.
Black's in already.
Well, Popman will give him chances. We know Popman gets careless and does daft things from time to time, so it's a question of how good Matthew is at taking opportunities.
What's Popman got for a player picture? It's an unsmiley alien face.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of alien face, but it might be a self-portrait. It might be something off his phone. Well, he's kissed the yellow, so he's got a combo if he wants it. It's dead set, more or less, but you've got that big gap between the two of them.
Yeah, that's not an easy shot. Yeah, hit it pretty good. It didn't go in.
Right, so let's get our first look at Legit Matthew.
Well, judging by his player picture, he's probably using some sort of PED at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's free shot for Popman. Didn't get it to a rail and didn't get it to the hole.
Yeah, now let's see what he does with this. I mean, this is a big thing, having this free shot. I mean, there's no trouble, so obviously you want to use this to get rid of a ball that'll help you run out. I would be going for that single one by itself, where he could just get that out of the way.
Exactly.
There he goes. Now he's looking at it.
Yeah, got to deal with that one because you don't want to get anywhere near that for the rest of the rack.
Well, you just don't want to have to get position on it because it's a little touchy, and ball in hand, now's the time to do it.
Good evening to Semi-Pro. Hot favourite for the tournament. No pressure.
Okay, so the rest of this is pretty straightforward. I would think he's going to be shooting the 8-ball in one of the side pockets, but, we'll see what he decides to do.
Yeah, goes into that one. Into the other one as well.
Let's see, does it go in that one corner? Yeah, it does go by that yellow into that other corner, too. Well, now he's got himself funny.
Yeah. He's dead straight, and he's probably going to run into this red if he...
Well, he needs to rail first this with a little bit of topspin, force it to the side rail and out, and then he'll have a cut on it.
Exactly that. I think he is using the rail now. I think he was contemplating
right.
one method, but he's doing what you're saying.
Well,
Where's
he
it going?
hit that awful hard.
And this is the major issue for most players is taking a rack or two to find their weight a shot. The good thing about Legit Matthew is he's not overhitting him because he never got that one to the hole, so he's got a soft touch. And that will do it.
Yep, that's a good shot there.
Oh, 8 balls stuck to the rail.
Yep. Let's see what he decides to take here. I mean, I'd imagine he's going to take the reds. Looks like he may try to get rid of the problem. Oh, kind of surprised he didn't go forward there. He could get rid of all his problems right here with the 8 ball, but that's risky.
Yeah, I'd be spinning into that side rail if I could.
Yeah, well, he's going to have big problems. He's got the 1 red to deal with, and the 8 ball is not in a good spot. I'll be surprised if he gets out this wreck. See, at this point, if don't think you can get out, you want to do something like that. Not sure he did that on purpose, but that's what you wanted to do, is play some strategy and table position.
Yeah, the danger here for Potman is that he obviously can't run out at the moment, but he doesn't want to accidentally nudge that 8 ball out while all these yellows, while all these reds are sitting where they are. But now he's strategically blocked the pocket, which is good thinking.
Yeah, the shot he played was very good. And I think this would be a really good time to make that red and put it in front of the pocket, because he can line them up on these other 2 yellows and he won't have a shot. See, he's not thinking that. He's thinking, I'm just going to make all these balls, as many as I can, and that's a mistake. He had a good chance to put his red right in that hole and give up no shot. And now all he's going to do by waiting is he's going to give up a shot. It's near impossible not to give up a shot here. The question is how good a shot. Well, that's no good.
Yeah, he's still in a good position from the point of view that 8 ball is hard to get to. Plus, obviously, it doesn't have a pocket down this end, and certainly you're going to have to get extremely good. Let's have a look at it. I'm pretty certain that's locked.
Yeah, all he needs to do is nudge the thing, and that's the puzzle here is find out how to nudge it, and he just went for it right off the bat.
That's done the trick. Okay, it's still awkward to get to, but he's got a good opportunity with the yellow over the hole.
Well, that or the yellow on the other side, it's easy to get to it too. I mean, he's getting rid of this one. Oh, he's going to go ahead and play safe. I'm not sure I like that because, he's just giving him an opportunity to kick that red ball out of there for free. I mean, I'm all for waiting, but I didn't think that was the situation. I mean, he could have shot a ball and missed it and left him no worse than that.
Why? Here's a question for semi-pro, because I'm a bit at a loss here. Why does the game call a touching ball on the yellow when it's not your set of balls? Explain that rule to me. Why is touching ball mentioned? Is that just so that you don't accidentally foul the ball? Is that all it's about? It's got nothing else to do with the game. Obviously,
I'm not.
if you moved that yellow ball while you were trying to play your red ball, it would be a foul because you've touched the opponent's ball first before you've touched your own ball. That's the only way I can understand that rule. I don't think it's got any other significance.
I'm not sure it should be like that. I don't know. I don't remember. I only wrote the code.
Good evening to Simon. Well, I presume Semi-Pro will confirm that I'm right in what I'm thinking, that that's the only reason it's called as a touching ball, so that you don't accidentally brush it and move it. Yeah. Yeah, you have to make sure you don't foul it, yeah. Well, Popman's getting himself into position here. Now, is he going to leave himself right on the rail so he can either punch the red out of the way or just stop it stone dead and push the 8 up the table? I hope he doesn't try and do anything daft because he's got a simple stop.
I don't think it matters. I think he just hit the left side of this ball and let it bounce out a little. I wouldn't be drawing it. See, that's the thing is, you just cut that ball a little and let it hit the bumper and come right out. I mean, that's
too heavy.
Well, trying to draw that ball is just the wrong approach to it. This draw is not reliable. But he's smart enough to play that shot. I mean, that was a wise move.
Well, the beauty of this game, this is where you can get lucky. If you give it a bang onto this red ball and it runs around the table, it can easily drop into a hole. But that won't do, I'm afraid.
Or you could give up a free ball. And now with this free shot, the challenge is, how do I get a duck on that black? And I think he's looking at running into the red, which is probably a pretty good idea if you don't do that.
See, this is the sort of thing Popman gets himself into. There's no way in this earth they should have ended up there.
Well, I mean, it was a little tight, and now he just gave up the game.
Now, that's unbelievable. Why didn't he just kick the red in? I mean, surely he'd a much better odds than even just trying to kick the red ball in. Oh, tell a lie, he's in the black, isn't he? I'm too busy reading the chat. What's
look at this.
Don't tell me it went around the jaws, did he, with the cue ball?
No, he just didn't hit it hard enough.
Didn't get it to the hole again. Well,
yeah, I mean, what Potman should have done with that 8 ball is probably just bank it towards the other corner pocket at a speed where it's going to sit in front of it. I mean, that's not a difficult shot, but.
Well, he's given up 2 racks, Matthew.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reason why people don't see shots is because of the games that they play. And, if you play 9 ball all the time or something like that, or snooker, you may not recognize that shot. If you're a 1 pocket player, that shot's like automatic. Just because the object ball is close to the rail doesn't mean you can't bank that and get the cue ball out of the way. But you just, if you don't shoot those shots, then you don't understand them, you don't recognize them. Mm-hmm. And if you did, you're afraid to shoot them because you're afraid you're going to get a double kiss or something. That's why I tell people, play other games, play 1 pocket, play straight pool, because that's going to make all these other games good. Because I guarantee if Potman had played some 1 pocket, that he would have banked that 8 ball over the other corner.
Well, the one thing I would certainly advise any, and this is from very little experience, but 1 pocket is not the game to start Virtual Pool 4 on if you're new to the game, because you're in for a lot of pain and hurt. You don't want to discourage anybody playing VP4, but if you're going to do it, don't advise them to start playing 1 pocket from day one. Start off easy and then build up to the difficult stuff.
Well, the best thing to do is get the offline and practice and get to the point where you understand how to aim and get a feel for the speed and how the game plays.
Yeah, it's only crazy people like Bedhead and one pocket slim that want to torture each other. And you see how these pockets
boy,
are.
that just skimmed just skimmed the rail.
They don't go in. You've got to get them clean. I mean, it's got to be a dead slow pace and really thin, and a soft touch for that ever to go into the hole. You get no forgiveness whatsoever on those pockets. And forget firm stun shots into these corner pockets, and you don't get it flush. Forget it. It ain't going in.
Yeah, if you're coming in at an angle and hitting the bumper, it's not going in.
I think the best thing that could happen for the prospects of this match for Matthew is for him to actually somehow get a rack on the board fairly early. I mean, he's lost his first 2 racks down to his own errors. And
that was about the best thing that could have happened for Potman, is missing that. I mean, he's probably trying to make that, but I'm thinking he should just try to lag that ball in front of the pocket at this point. Because he wasn't going to run out.
Yeah, because that's exactly it. Get yourself in position to go for the kill. You can't go for the kill the way these balls are set at the moment. Obviously, the 8 ball's dead. It's going nowhere. You've got the two yellows in the red. Okay, one of the yellows goes, and the yellow ball, if you get on it right, can be the breakout shot to open everything up for you to then go for the kill. Well, Potman's grabbing the bull by the horn straight away here.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that situation, he had a pretty good shot at getting out. I mean, he should here. This is pretty simple. You just got to make sure you spin this past the side pocket. That's what I'd be looking at doing here anyways. I mean, it's just going to be easier, I think, to get on the 8 ball rather than coming back and forth on this side. He's going to shoot the side pocket ball here. I don't really like this, but it'll work. I would have hit the other one and spun up past the side.
Well, I think he's worried that the cut's a bit thin on that red. So this is just go through to the rail and back out. He's got the angle there, so just a little bump and back out in line for the 8 ball. So he should be 3-zip.
Yeah, this table does play fast. I mean, all this stuff's adjustable. I can make the table slower. I can make the pockets play easier. But I don't play blackball, so I don't know what the table should play like. I've never been on a real blackball table.
That's what I think we were discussing that the other night.
When I was in London, I went into the wrong bar. I had a bunch of guys looking at me like, what are you doing in my bar? So I left. And I never got to get on a blackball table. Steve Daking wanted to get me on. He came over here and played pool with me, and that didn't go so well for him. He wanted revenge on a blackball table, which he probably would have gotten.
I mean, there's probably hundreds of places you could have gone into in London and found a pub table. But probably not in the sort of more well-to-do parts of London, more the sort of traditional pubs, maybe a little further out of town. But there's plenty of them around. They've all usually got a pub table and a dartboard.
Well, I mean, I've been to London, 3 times? All 3 on business. Only one was virtual pool business, and then I was Steve Davis. The only time we went to a pub with a pub table in it as soon as he walked in the door, he was mobbed by people asking for autographs. Autograph my cue, autograph my napkin. So we didn't stay there.
Well, Potman on the reds. Now that red obviously doesn't go into the corner, but he's got to find a way to drop down on it for it into the side if he doesn't want to start trying to bump things for no reason, and there's no reason to do it. He's got a red there. That one there is the one to just drop through for the red into the side. But he's dead straight looking at this one down the rail. What's he doing here? Potting the red. Well, that's going to get it thick. So the red still goes. I think he's got control of that pocket. Matthew's nudging his yellow in. He might have wanted to nudge that a wee bit more, maybe to try and improve his yellow ball. I don't know whether he had much angle to do it though.
Yeah, he's fine though. I mean, he's got plenty of options of moving that yellow ball with where his balls are sitting. I mean, he should shoot this ball up table and then.
Now he's in trouble.
Yeah, I was thinking from the Reds' point of view. Yeah, he's in real trouble because he can't get that yellow out of there, but Potman can. And we'll probably do it right now.
That's what I'm just going to say. The question is whether Potman does it now that he's perfect on it, just to pot the red and get out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening to Cobra. Good evening to Blind Hog. Or good afternoon, depending where you are in the world.
I mean, the thing is if you're confident you're going to run out, then picking balls off in front of pockets aren't a big deal. If you're not, then, that could be more of an issue.
I hope he's not trying to draw along the rail to hit this yellow and red. He's digging down deep here. See, that's stupid. I mean, why when he was sitting in the middle of the table, does he not think he can get enough of that red to pot it? Well, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. But
maybe
whatever, he didn't hit that shot very well as far as trying to break it out.
That's the first time I went round to look at it. I think Potman was maybe right. I don't think he can get enough of it there to pot that legally. It looks a bit tight. The
problem now is he's getting to the point where when he does move it, he may not come up with a shot.
Yeah, here we go. He might go in behind these and scratch. He's got to be careful. Yeah, he's got it thick.
Well, everything's good now. This shot's a little tricky. I would be running forward with this so I didn't have to hit it so hard.
Yeah, and as long as he's going to leave himself an angle, so it's just fairly straightforward. Yep. Pot the 8, pot the red, drop out for the 8 into the side or up table.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, my prediction of a guy from the USA may not know how to play this game is becoming true here. Because, I don't think Matthew understands the strategy of this game.
Well, this is his chance.
Got a chance to get a game here.
He's got to get out here.
Yeah, this is simple. You just... I see players do this all the time. They'll try to cut this ball in and hold the cue ball. Don't do that. Just not that ball. The one near the pocket. Just come all the way down to the end rail and back out. Don't try to hit this super easy.
Well, you see, he's quite good at super easy. He's good with that touch because that's a good, reasonable enough line in the yellow.
You can get away with that more on VP4. In real life, it's like trying to hit shots like that. good players are almost always going to go to the end rail on that because they're not going to want to roll balls.
Now,
you can get away with it in VP more.
That's actually, quite a good touch he's got there. He's got a nice soft touch, but he's now found a way a shot there. Okay, he's duffed a couple of racks because he hasn't got the balls to holes, but that might hold him in good stead as the match goes on. Not that for Popman though.
Yeah, well, one of those balls that Matthew didn't get to the hole was an 8-ball. So that's a 2-game swing. That one really hurt.
Well, don't be mentioning anything like that, Larry. Keep that quiet, or you'll have Steve starting to put tilts on the table and all of this crap.
Well, real tables roll off. That's one reason why players don't do that. But the other reason is it's difficult to be accurate with a stroke when you're trying to roll balls. I mean, it's a lot easier to be accurate when you're hitting a medium speed than at low speed.
I mean, how many times have you played in? I mean, I've played in snooker tables with lumps out the cloth. People gouging lumps out the cloth. I've played in snooker tables like that.
I've played on bar tables where at low speed, from one end of the table to another, the ball would roll out 2 or 3 balls. I mean, I'm not sure about that shot there because
Well,
he's sort of helping Matthew solve some of his problems by shooting that shot.
I don't know what he's looking at. He's looking to cut this towards the middle pocket. No,
he's ducking.
Trying to run for cover. Well, I'll tell you something. It's not a bad shot, other than the fact that Matthew's got a yellow he can take up to the corner. But other than that, he hasn't got anything else.
Yeah, I agree, because I would not call that a good shot. I'm not going to say it's a bad shot, but it's not a good shot. And the reason why is that he didn't do anything productive.
Well, I think the other thing you've got to take into context as well is what level of player that Potman's playing from what we've seen so far. But now we're getting into a little bit of strategy. So, this could unfold in a different way in 2 or 3 racks' time if Matthew's finding his feet and settling down.
Yeah, I just think in these strategy games, it's like the best example is one pocket. If you play a shot and, it's a defensive shot and, you don't trap your guy the only thing you accomplish is you don't give him a shot. You don't give up a shot to him. That's not a productive shot. And if you play like that against good players, you're going to lose all the time because they're going to do something that not only doesn't give you a shot, but moves balls towards their pocket or puts you in a trap. And really, it's the same thing in this game. If you're going to move balls, it has to be something productive. Put it in front of your pocket, move some balls that are together and are going to be hard to get to or shoot. Don't just not give up a shot because that's rarely a good strategy play.
Yeah, because that free shot is always the thing that can turn the rack around. It can open the rack up for you. So it's like a cardinal sin given the free shot in blackball. You can have a rack that's 50-50 as to who's going to win it, and then you sell out. Not getting to a rail or doing something stupid, and then as soon as you give that free shot away, especially to somebody that knows what they're doing, you're dead and buried. You ain't getting back to the table.
No, I don't understand that. I don't understand why he didn't shoot his yellow onto the red and leave it in front of the pocket. I mean, he'd have to go rail first, but I think he could have done it.
Oh dear. Well, as we say, here's the 2 shots now. How good is Popman going to develop this?
Well, the one thing you got to think about is if you're going to leave that ball in the pocket to last, how are you going to get on the 8 ball? Because that's going to be. I'm not saying it's not doable, but it's definitely a little tricky.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth, Steve. He's going to leave that red to last, and then he's probably going to run into the 8 ball.
Well, I mean, that may not be the worst thing. I mean, trying to go behind is risky. Where those yellows are sitting, you can go right behind that first one and get yourself locked up. The best shot is probably just draw it back.
Yeah.
And then cut to 8. That would be the best shot.
Yeah, get out of there.
See, he's afraid of this, so he's shooting it now, which might not be a bad strategy. I mean, as long as you think you're running out, get rid of it and make that 8 ball situation easier. Yeah, Potman's actually. Whoa, look at that, and that's that's a little bit on the fortunate side, if you ask me.
No, it was tightish, but there was room for it to go in clean.
Yeah, he hit the ball. It could have just hung up. So he's obviously played this game some because he's doing a lot of the right things.
Hello.
It sounds like a.
It sounds like a quiet semi-pro to me.
Sounds like a semi something.
Hello.
Now, hello.
Turn me up.
Now, there's a name I've never seen before, whoever that is. You can let us know if you play VP4. Rouen de Grief. Now, that sounds exactly Dutch to me. Or South African.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're quite quiet.
Oh, right, okay. I'm just going to say...
Zangetsu.
When Potman had the 2 shots, he should have put the black onto his ball that was over the pocket, and then played the other 2 reds.
Yeah, that would have been a smarter move. Solve that situation right there.
Yeah, because you were saying putting the red last next to the black would have been harder to get on the black, which is right. But to avoid that, what I find is a lot of players don't use the free shot wisely.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. They don't use it productively.
Well, it's supposed to be a problem solver. That's what you want to use to solve your problems, and
it's also used to put the opponent's ball safe if you're not 100% sure on clearing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could definitely use it to cluster your opponent's balls up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, the only thing, the thing is, there's complete rookies at this game in this tournament. We've seen that, and they're like most of us. They don't fully understand the rules of the game, and they're not probably, because they're not aware of that. They're not using the rules to their advantage, particularly that free shot when you get one. They're in this one-way traffic thing where they just have to think about keeping potting balls and, knocking them all over the place, and there's no real structure to their play. It's a main failing for new players and inexperienced players, but of course, as I said last night, as the tournament goes on, all of this is going to come into play when it gets down to the nitty-gritty. Now, more important things I want to mention. I want to mention that that chap that came into the chat there, Ruan, that's Zangetsu, and his next victim is Stubb. So, good luck to Zangetsu, and I hope you put up a good fight in comparison to what Stubb had in his first match, and I'm sure you will.
Yeah, put Stubb on mute. There's issues that players also do is go for clearances that aren't there.
Well, that's basically what I was saying there, Sammy. They're continually potting balls, and to be honest with you, if they get lucky and get on the next ball, fine. But that's where they're not really equipped to do the job, if you know what I mean, in terms of technique.
There's a free shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a given for any 8-ball game. Is that you see people make that mistake
So the free shot
all
here
the time.
for me is to clip the yellow that's up in the top left corner to push it down the rail, which will open up the pocket for the red next to the black, and you could use the white to open up the red and the yellow in the same shot.
See, in this game, you can't move the ball across the head string.
No.
Yeah, you can.
No, say that again.
And on that,
Yeah.
when he
I
had
was just wondering why he's back there behind the head string.
he picked it up. It was
Yeah,
it
he
was a
had the
foul.
choice to play and play or take it into bulk.
Oh, yeah,
So
I'm
all-
not sure I would have
so-
picked that one up either.
So all I was saying is he could have put the white in a position to play the yellow in the top left corner as I'm facing away from the balk end.
But it was reds were on, right? It was Potman's
Yeah.
shot.
But to do that, removing that yellow would have opened up the pocket for the red and the black. But he chose to play the red instead.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He
I
could have
mean,
used
because
the white.
he could easily get to the red that's next to the yellow at that point.
Yeah.
Now, Tommy from Germany, the chat's just disappeared. He was querying about the way the draw works in these tournaments. I don't know whether he's meaning just referring to the NRT tournaments or tournaments in general. He thinks it's not good for whatever reason. One thing that Larry was mentioning is that he was finding he was at the top of the draw on more than one occasion in Friday Night 9-ball, in either the top of the draw or second, and he was playing Spectre Dawn on a few occasions. I think it was something like that. Maybe Larry can elaborate on it. One other thing I would add, though, and there's a lot of the guys watching the stream won't be aware of this, in a tournament such as this, this NRT tournament is just a straight draw. But Steve has got written into the tournament system not only a handicapping system for tournaments as you've seen in Friday Night 9-ball, but there's also a seeding system. So if you have a number of seeded players, the draw can be set up where it keeps the seeded players apart. Is that right, Steve? I presume it's still in the system.
There's two other, besides random, there's two other options. One option is a seeded tournament, whereas in a seeded tournament, if you've got 32 players, then like the first plays the 32nd, the second plays the 31st. So that's a true seeded tournament. We also have a sort of a semi-seeded tournament where what it does is it separates the good players in the brackets and then it random draws their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got both of those. We never use them. Everything we always play is random draw. I think we could do something with a seeded tournament, but the question is, well, why? Because Bedhead says the random draw isn't random. I can tell you that it's random. I know what the code does. It's definitely is random. May not seem like it somehow.
Steve,
but
can I clarify on that? Because there's a while back, Friday Night 9-ball had about 4 or 5 weeks of playing the same players week in, week out.
But that's partially due because the same players are in the tournament every week as well, isn't it? You've got higher odds of that happening.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, it was not only one fixture, it was like the whole tournament. Everyone was playing the same player that they played. Admittedly, if the same players were entering every week, it was the same draw and same players were playing against each other.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about whether it randomly sets where you're going to be in the bracket. Like the first people in may be put into certain spots. The buys are sort of distributed evenly because they have to be, or you get two buys together if they're not.
Well, Larry says there it challenges you to find his name starting in the bottom half of the bracket at any time. Well,
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, but I mean, even so, even if you weren't ever in the lower bracket, I'm not sure that means it's not random. I'd have to look at the code. I know how the random number generator works.
well, where's Potman got to? 5-1 up at the table. Problem ball to deal with.
So that shot there, it's like he's got a problem ball down here. That ball that he's just potted was his only ball to free the black up.
Exactly, yeah. I agree with you again. This is where people just don't see that option for some strange reason. Now he's running all over the shop.
So I mean, like even if he used that yellow up the top, he still weren't guaranteed to get position.
He's going to let it run, obviously, and try and get lucky.
Yeah, this looks like a loss, is what it looks like.
But then again, playing somebody that isn't going to punish him,
he can take liberties. But if Matthew's got enough sense, he's going to lock Potman up and get his free shot in a minute or two.
Yeah, but even if he was playing different because who he's playing, it's a bad idea. It's always a bad idea to play different because you need to practice playing the right way all the time.
Now, Potman hits this wrong. He can run this 8-ball into those two reds like that and open them up.
Yeah, that really should be lost. We'll see whether Matthew can get out.
Right. Well, this will be a good out for him because I don't know, he's not lining up into the centre pocket at the moment. It's a tough starter, and that's not going to go.
Right, I'll leave you guys to it because I'm bored already.
Did you get Abby to do the dishes, Sammy?
No, I got slapped.
Did you? I thought you would. Especially after my advice.
See you guys.
Right, see you later.
See you later.
Right, that's now got it. Now, this is where this rule that Sammy was talking about comes into play here, Steve. And Matthew probably doesn't know it, and this is the sad thing about it, in terms of knowing the strategy and the rules of the game. Now that I know it, Matthew can pot all of these balls, these 3 open balls, and leave himself straight on that red ball, and pot the red ball onto the 8-ball, and get the red to follow in, and it's a legal shot. If I'm right in thinking. Now, I'll be corrected if I'm wrong there, but I think that's right.
Yeah, I don't know the particulars of that rule in blackball.
Well, that's
but
it.
it's not going to matter anyways.
No, it's not going to happen, I'm afraid. I used to do that, Tommy. I used to do that in VP3. I used to have a draw night. Of course, I wasn't streaming back then. I used to do the draw myself, perfectly legal and above board. There was no fixing or anything. And I used to do the announcements. It just made it a wee bit more theatrical. Well, it's a long way back already for Matthew. So we are, well, I started my clock, I think, when I started streaming, but we are about 16 minutes away from the second match tonight, provided both players show. Look at this ball. I mean, that's about as far into the pocket as you can go. Well, you could probably go another few millimetres yet before it drops.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to look at the draw and see how it's done, because if one crazy person means I don't have to do it, but when there's several crazy people, it means that maybe I'm the one that's crazy.
Well, there is. Let's just say there's a strange pattern Particularly noticeable in Friday Night Nine Ball, and I can confirm more or less what Larry's been saying, because I had a look at the Friday Night Nine Ball tournaments when Larry was talking about it, and it is true that you will be very hard pushed to go back through Friday Night Nine Balls and see Larry at the bottom half of the draw.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it. It probably has something to do with how the first set of players was put in. Well, I mean, this is looking like it's going to be very one-sided in this.
Yeah, it won't. I mean, it's not the last. It's not the first match to be like this, and there'll be more as well. You know,
I'm not sure why he's taking so long there.
and now he's in trouble again.
Yeah, I mean, you just use this yellow ball as like a rail. It's a tricky shot as far as controlling the distance and the line. But basically, you want to draw the yellow balls just like a rail, and you draw it back and shoot the red in the corner.
He's going. Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to bounce there, but he's run into the yellow. But it still cuts. Cuts no problem.
That's the hard part about the shot, is understanding how it's going to hit and getting the speed and the line right. Yeah, he should still be okay here.
Well, commentators curse.
Except for that. Yeah, I mean, there was a chance, he was going to probably run into a yellow, and there was a chance he wasn't get a shot on the 8, although, these 3 yellows down there, if you hit him, he probably still did. But there's really no excuse for doing that. You've got to know, where that corner pocket is, and make sure you're not hitting the rail right next to it.
Now, you see, Matthew here doesn't know that you can play that yellow on the rail in the kitchen or in bulk. He doesn't know that, or he would have played it to get it off the rail. So that's another rule that Matthew doesn't know about, unless he this is the way he wants to do it. But I don't think he does. I think he just doesn't know.
Yeah, well, this sucks because, trying to draw this back, it's a good chance you can miss the ball. You got to hit it perfect.
And he's just overcooked it slightly.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll have a cut on the ball, but it won't be that ridiculous.
He needs to. This is the only shot he's hit it too heavy.
Yeah, that was a little heavy. It's still fine. I mean, I wouldn't expect he's going to miss this.
Well, he's going to leave this over the hole, whatever. No, he isn't, because he's underhit it again. So he's struggling.
And I think that 8 ball may go by.
It most certainly will. He'll just baby it in, little flick off the yellow, and it's bound to drop. It needs to be thin though. Just gentle and thin, like that. Perfect.
Oh. Well, hopefully Matthew learns some stuff. I mean, I think it's great people that have not, played black ball or in the championship, and it's good to have the participation. Hopefully they learn something. I mean, really, if you haven't played, you ought to be playing black ball before this tournament and trying to gain some knowledge.
Exactly, yeah. And there's only been 2 or 3 players doing it, I think. But you certainly have to educate yourself in the rules and the subtlety of these rules, and particularly, for example, that situation that Matthew had there with ball in hand in the kitchen, the free shot and the problem ball on the rail. Okay, he got to it his way, but I think maybe if he'd known the rule, he might have just chipped it out. I don't know. We'd maybe have to ask him that. Oh, Paul, Matthew's playing trick shots now.
Yeah. He just made the table a lot worse. Well, the other thing is getting used to the pockets and the table and the cues, and there are differences in how it all plays.
Now this is going to take a bit of working out, this rack. Red and yellow tied up in the bottom rail, but that red is a good ball to get that other red out of there.
I'd be shoving this yellow out right now and sticking them behind the other yellow. The one near the rail here, I'd just shove it out to the long rail and stick him on that other one. He's got no shot. It's like, it's a free shot. You get to, if you can improve the table for yourself and not give up a shot, then that's what you want to be doing. Because trying to run out,
Well,
I see this all the time, even with good players in the U.S. I've watched guys that are real strong players, like, pros playing 8-ball on a bar table, and all they do is try to run out every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, now they get away with it better because they're great players, but I've got a buddy who was, he played as a pro, but, he wasn't like a top player or anything, but he was the smartest 8-ball player I've ever seen. When they came out with that IPT tour, a bunch of the pros came to him for lessons, teach us how to play 8-ball. But I remember I went to a tournament and there was a couple pros playing in it and several guys that were really strong. And it was races to 5 on bar tables, and he won the tournament and never lost more than 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Beat both the pros, and it's just from playing the right way. I mean, he didn't play as good as those guys at that point in his life. I mean, he was 70 years old, but he still won.
Yeah, but he had the knowledge and experience.
Oh.
Well, it's another opportunity gone. Now, Potman has to get good on this second last yellow. And he's in good shape to do that because he's just going to probably kill the cue baller. Well, I think he'll have to, because if he plays this with the force to pot the yellow, he's going to run through. And he doesn't want to run through too far, so he's going to kill it.
Yeah, he's just going to hit a stop shot here.
Well, here's Matthews at best chance now again, and they're all there. Oh dear. Oh well. Right. Right. We'll go to the second match. I think that's what we'll do.
I think he needs to make a note. Don't try to cheat the pockets.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen in this table. But he's learning. But unfortunately, he's learning the hard way. He could have done all of that in a practice room, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Get some racks in.
Yeah, I mean unfortunately, this is pretty much over. He didn't leave himself very good on this shot. Let's see what he decides to do here. See if he's going to try to get tricky.
Oh, he's going to be square, but that will do.
Now this looks pretty tricky.
Now, he's not going to find the gap between those top 2 reds and scratch again. No, he's not. He's just going to nurse it. I think that was a wiser way to go, but he's putting pressure on Matthew to actually pot these balls. Let's see if Matthew can hold himself together here.
I think a wise way to go would have been to put a little draw on it. Now, get it past side pocket. Now, there was a chance you could hit that red and, scratch. You couldn't draw it too much, but yeah, I mean, that's just giving games away by being afraid of scratching there.
Well, I'm rooting for legit Matthew to win this rack. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him get some more games.
You see, he's stuck to the rail, so he's just got to be gentle again, and he's not going to get to the hole again. Yeah.
Well, let's see. We've got a free shot and a ball in the pocket, and the last one he needs. I think he can win from here.
Popman could still follow it in. No, he's sensible enough.
He played it off the rail.
Well, we're 5 minutes away. Is both of those guys in the lobby? Because there's no point in going to that match if the two of them aren't there.
Who's playing? Cheeky Chico and who else?
Cheeky Chico and I get there eventually. Quagmire.
Let's see. Yeah, Quagmire's in the lobby. Chico's in the room, so
that'll do it.
They're all there.
Now, who does? Let me have a quick look at the bracket. Who does Popman get next? Where's this match in the bracket? Quick look. Right, so the assumption is Popman's going to go through. Well, the bad news for Popman is that he's maybe favourite to be playing Larry in round 2.
Well, we ought to be taking odds on the stub match. I'll take Zangistu. Anybody wants to bet?
Well, I say I want a good match. I don't want to see any numptiness from Zangetsu. Give a good account of himself. He certainly will do compared to what Stubb faced in the first round. I know that because I've seen Zangetsu.
Stubb pockets balls and runs balls good enough that it's not going to be a blowout. I just think it's going to be hard for him to win because he doesn't understand how to play the game. Which sort of amazes me since I know Stubbs played a lot of bar table 8-ball.
Well, Stubbs, I'm certain Stubbs' strategy will come into play a bit more when he's playing what you would say is a more formidable opponent. He'd be taking liberties in that match once he's worked out the level of the opponent he was playing. And as soon as he finds that out, he's taking on everything. He's doing daft things he would cut out against anybody else who's got a fair idea of what they're doing. He would learn fairly quickly to do that. But if he hasn't watched that match that Zangetsu had, then he's in for a bit of a rude awakening.
Yeah, I saw some of it, and he definitely has a pretty good idea how to play this game. And, he pockets balls and moves the cue ball, and, I don't know if he does that as well as Stubb, but he certainly knows how to play the game better than Stubb. It'd be nice to see somebody come out of nowhere and challenge to win this thing.
Yeah, well, we're going to get our first taste of one of the other strong favourites for the tournament, and that's Mal, who is strictly 9-ball, so he's going to have to... I wonder if Mal knows the rules of this game.
Mal is Scottish, isn't he?
No, Mal's English.
Oh, is he English? I thought he was Scottish. He's English. Okay, well, my opinion of him just went up right away.
Well, I have to say, Steve, he's nearer the Scottish border than he is the rest of England. Let's put it that way. He stays. I think he's in the northeast of England, in Geordie country, up that direction. Popman will know. Popman's from up there as well.
But Mal is if he's been in the UK, because I'll tell you this, I've seen Mal play pool real life, and he's a pretty good player. So I know that he's got to have played this game, and Mal's a savvy person, and he plays VP very well. I mean, I think he's going to be formidable.
Right now, Matthew's got another problem.
Well,
Popman can't get to that red to pot it, so...
No, the play here is.
Oh dear,
That's
that's a two shots or free shot for Matthew. Got to get out this time, son.
I think the idea was okay, but
He wants to be running into the red here and staying on the yellow.
Yeah, I don't think he understands
No.
what a free shot is.
No, he doesn't.
He's just thinking he played a great shot.
Yeah, that shows you he doesn't know, because he would have played onto the red, get in the hole for the yellow.
Yeah, Potman was playing for a free shot, and he might have been able to get it. I mean, that 8 ball is down far enough; it may have been hard to kick it to yellow. There's another foul.
Now, see, now that Potman knows that he doesn't know the rules, Potman can just keep doing that until he makes a mistake.
Yeah, Potman's just going to make the yellow here. Oh, he doesn't get it there. That's right. I keep thinking it's like ball in hand. Oh, that wasn't a very good shot. But he'll get away with it.
Right. Are we all agreed we're going to the second match now? Once this rack's over, if Matthew can get his second rack in the board.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like that shot. He needed to make sure he got a really good shot on that ball. He left himself funny, and he could lose from here.
Well,
I mean, this is a well, there's two ways to play this. You can kick at it or play it rail first. I think it's close enough to the rail that rail first isn't a bad shot. Looks like he's going to kick at it. In that situation, I'd rail first that thing for sure, because it's just, you're guaranteed almost for sure going to hit it. And if you miss it, there's a good chance it hangs in the pocket in front of the 8 ball. If you're going to kick at that, you better be really good at kicking. You know what I'm saying, Hugh, right? Left-hand English, rail first off the end rail.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why he didn't shoot that shot. Maybe he doesn't know it.
Now, Potman's going to try and kill this, but I know he's going to roll it. He's done it sensible. I thought he was going to try and stun it in, and then the 8 ball's just going to rattle. Right, so are we all agreed we're going to the other match? Because this one is over. 8 balls get in, it's going to be a re-rack. I'll go with the majority.
Hey, we got 2 black ball tournaments going at the same time. That might be a first. And the other tournament has plenty of people in it. I guess they're all getting ready. So we've got Quagmire in here, and what's Cheeky Chico doing? Is he still over there messing with Twitch or something?
Right. We'll leave these guys to it. In fact, what I'll do is I will change my titles, and we'll move into the match with Chico and Quagmire. But there's only one player in the room. Where's Chico gone to? In fact, Chico's not in the lobby.
Yeah, well,
Chico's
he's either going to the bathroom or he's playing head games, or well, he's not even online right now.
Right, well, he's got 7 minutes to get into the room. He's definitely not there.
Yeah, he could be rebooting his computer, or hopefully he's not having problems.
Which is wise.
Yeah. I don't hardly ever reboot my computer, but if I was playing in a match like this, I probably would before it.
Right, Chico's arrived, so let's get in. There we go. And
so who do you guys like in this thing? Because Hugh and I aren't sure.
Let's see. Looking at Quagmire's rating, he's 1900. So I reckon he's got a fair idea of what he's doing.
So it's all quiet on the Western Front. Nobody's got an opinion on who can win this?
Yeah, well, opinions are probably going to come as the first 2 or 3 racks go in this match. Once we see, we know Chico's fairly sensible about what he's doing, so we just have to see how Quagmire approaches this.
Well, Rowan is saying that his favorites to win are Semi and LS3. Well, what about you, Rowan? You don't think you can win? And he's saying can still pull back this tournament. Can LS3 still pull back? I'm not quite sure what that sentence means, but if you're saying can she still win, of course she can still win.
So you're telling me that Chico's actually doing the Moz technique, streaming and commentating while he's playing? Not a good idea. It's never a good mix.
No, there's enough distractions as it is. You don't need to add more.
Well, Quagmire can't get to that yellow ball.
This is not a particularly easy rack because the yellow ball up table only goes down table, and he's got the other one near the side pocket that's tight.
Yeah,
that ball he's looking at up table, that only goes down table in one corner pocket.
Yeah. And I don't think that even if he got behind this yellow for some reason at the top end of the table to play it down table, as you say, I don't think he could stop the cue ball and be able to pot that one that's to the right of that red on the rail, because I don't think he can get into it enough.
The thing is he can move this now. Move that yellow now, put the cue ball on the end rail. What's Cheeky going to shoot at?
Yeah, down behind his yellow. Is that what you're talking about? Or across the table twice?
No, just roll it forward and put the cue ball on the end rail. The yellow that's up table that is next to the other red, he could have just rolled that and put the cue ball on the end rail about where he is now, over a little, and there's no shot at all for the reds.
Well, now he's in exactly the situation I was thinking about if he could get to the bottom of this table, so I don't think he can. Well, maybe looking at that there, he might be able to certainly get it over the hole.
The other shot was simple. The only thing negative you could say about the shot I was talking about is that it gives your opponent an opportunity at the table to move balls. But he would not have been able to make a ball unless he was going to shoot a bank on the red or some crazy combo. I mean, he did manage to get behind it, but that was, chance of getting where he did was pretty low.
Well, we'll soon find out what he can. I'm trying to convince myself he can get to that, Steve, and get enough of it.
Yeah, this is sitting pretty good because it's going to come off that red. Now, the tricky part is judging the line off of that, and obviously he didn't understand it because he just blasted the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the shot was there that he could have made that ball and got on the yellow. The only question on my mind was whether he needed to use a little inside English or not. But when you hit it at that speed, it doesn't matter. Well, now he's in trouble because he doesn't make this, and he's probably going to lose.
Well, it's 2 millimeters off the rail, so he'll do well to keep this stuck to the rail.
Yeah, well, that looks like a loser. So at this point, I'd probably just roll up on this red. I wouldn't even shoot at anything. He's going to put it down in the pocket, but that's okay. I mean, as long as you can run out, there's nothing wrong with running out. But there's also nothing wrong with waiting.
Now, he's just got to either land in the middle one or that one in the left there. I think he's on the middle one.
Yeah, and this is good because stop shot gives him shape on 2 balls.
Yeah, Chico knows what he's doing.
Stop shot, stop shot. When you go stop, 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 he let that one roll. I'm not quite sure why he didn't stun that.
He's fine. just off the railing out. In fact, probably just drop it in dead weight, maybe. No, he is going off rail.
Yeah, I like that better than trying to dead weight the thing. But I'm used to, looking at things like real life where you'd never want to dead weight that thing.
So first blood to Chico on his own break.
That's what I like to see. Quagmire screwed up and, Chico made him pay. And, the thing is Quagmire had the out. All he had to do was hit that thing at a reasonable speed, and he was probably going to get on that yellow, and he was out. So that was an execution error there.
Well, let's see how careful Quagmire is at picking his way through this setup here, because this is a good setup, an open table, and he's got a choice. Now, the yellows look odds-on certainty to me in terms of running out.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good. Other than the one red near the side pocket, I think I actually like the reds better because of these extended balls, but he's going to get rid of these extended balls right now, and at that point, there's not a lot of trouble. He's got one yellow that's blocked.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've looked at. Yeah. That's,
I probably would have taken the reds, but
yeah, I tend to agree with you now looking at that, because I didn't think that yellow was blocked, and it is.
Yeah, now he's in trouble. I think the shot that's going to come up that's a good shot, and he can shoot it next time or this time, is play the one yellow off the other.
Yeah, the little billiard shot.
Yeah, and the reason I like that shot is because it gets rid of his problem. But instead he's going to miss and probably give up this game, and it's going to be 2-0 Cheeky Chico.
Well, at least he hasn't given a free shot, because Chico's still got to deal with that red ball.
He does, and, uh-oh. Oh, that's too bad. He had a perfect opportunity here to deal with the red ball if he got on this red the right way, but he's got no angle. Having some angle on that makes it easy to go around the table. The way he is now, he's going to have to get to it somehow else. Things just got a lot harder because this ball here was his opportunity to get up to that other one. He can do it here. It's going to have to be a zigzag. It's, basically 1, 2, 3 or 4 rails here. You got to hit it hard, and you got to get it past that one red.
No.
The cue ball hits just past the side pocket and comes around on the other one.
Well, I was looking at the angle he had from the cutting that red to go there. I don't know whether the line was there to let it run back across and chip the red. Maybe that was a bit ambitious, but
he could have got around the table there. But it was really the shot before he messed up the easy situation, and it's going to cost him because he's probably going to lose this game.
Well,
the tough part here is it's a little tricky getting on this 8 ball with the ball hung in the corner. Now, I have tons of experience shooting a shot on a pool table. Most people on a pool table don't understand how to shoot balls hung in the pocket well, and they don't play them well. What I don't understand is how to deal with these curved corners, because that's going to affect when you're trying to take a thin cut on a ball hung in the pocket. Well, it's kind of a mute point since he missed the ball.
Yeah, people are going to find out very quickly if they haven't played black ball very much. Let's just say most of them haven't played it very much at all. These middle pockets, you just simply cannot touch any of that knuckle head on, because it just comes straight back out. It doesn't draw into the pocket. That's never going to happen. And Quagmire, as much as he had a chance here, he still had the difficult task of getting back down out of that corner for the 8 ball, but he won't be probably getting that opportunity unless Chico can play a good one.
Chico just messed up because he had a perfect line just to keep running around and get on that ball, and he didn't hit it hard enough. I don't know what he was trying to do, but the shot before, he ran on a perfect line. All he had to do was hit it harder, and he was straight in on that ball.
Well, This is just a simple roll in, nothing elaborate. Just let it roll in. You're on the 8 ball. So we're all square.
Boy, Cheeky had 2 chances to win that game. 2 real good chances.
So it's going with the break at the moment. Back to Chico.
Well, it looks like Cobra's already inside a semi-pro's head. Semi, the only person putting pressure on you is you. Cobra can't do that to you. Only you can.
Oh yes, there's more bruises in semi-pro from his own self-inflicted damage than anything else that he's ever had in tournaments. Yeah, he beats himself up more than anybody else has. Don't forget he had that mid-match crisis, and what was it? Was it the straight pull or was it the 8 ball? I can't remember, but he had a wobbler in the middle of that match. Semi will remember it. He's probably still taking the tablets.
Yeah, one pocket slim's trying to reverse it, telling me he has no chance. Well, I have the one rule when I play somebody. And my rule is never piss your opponent off, because sometimes, especially if somebody's struggling, maybe they're a little scared or this, you get them pissed off, and all of a sudden all that bad things that they were doing to themselves disappear. So I try to never piss my opponent off.
Right then, what are you going to do now, Quagmire? Oh, that's a foul. He's hit the yellow first. Well, there's a cardinal sin.
Boy, is that a new version of a commentator curse? You ask a question and he does that.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't very good.
Mm. Can he see that yellow? I don't know whether he can actually see it to pot it, can he? Let's have a look.
Well, he's going to have to shoot a combo with the other yellow.
Yeah, he can't get to it.
Or he could go up table, which I think is probably a smarter move, since you're not going to give up anything. Well, if he can split these reds and sit it between it, well, that's still not going to do him any good now that there's a ball up table in the pocket. I mean, Quagmire is in real trouble here.
Now, what's Quagmire doing here? Oh, he's not looking to try and bank this up towards that yellow, is he? He's going to the other pocket up table.
Oh, this is real trouble. He's in a world of trouble here.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling TT's asking, is anyone having trouble with connections to the server?
Nope. Right.
Well, he would have. It would have been better to get that red out in the middle of the table. I mean, that wasn't really the best shot. I mean, there was nothing great that was going to happen on that shot, but at least you can get a ball out and play that you can use to potentially break up other balls. Pico better stop messing around, or he could end up losing this game. There's no way he should.
Well, it's obviously not going to be very productive. Well, this might be a mistake. I thought he was going to cut that red and break everything open. That little kiss. Now, he's hit the knuckle. I thought he was going to get really lucky there and come down and chip into them there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still tough, and it's going to be hard to move that red in front of the pocket.
Well, it's all very well sitting in the bleachers, Bedhead. You should have been in this. And Spectre on.
He could put this red in the midst of all that. I mean, at this point, that might be the best shot, is just bank it off the rail and set it right on top of the black and other yellow. I mean, I don't think that's a winning play, but
it keeps you in the game still. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you a chance for Cheeky to make a mistake.
Well,
I'd probably just try to lock everything up now, just because it's so messed up. Well, that's not really wonderful.
Well, he should have hit it clean past the 8 ball, but I mean, it's. Let's have a look at that yellow. Now, see, that yellow doesn't go still. It's way too tight.
Yeah, it's the other balls. And see, what he could do here is separate these balls a little. Well, he didn't really do it. You know, because what you want to do, the advantage that you have with those yellows down there is you have balls that you can use to break up the treble. But you got to put those balls in a position you can make them and break up the treble. And he didn't do that, because if he would have hit those two balls a little differently, he could have got, you know, balls in position to win. And right now, he's got no shots on anything down there.
That's what I was dreading. I was thinking he's going all in here, trying to cut the red and bring the other red. Now, fair enough, he got the other red in play, but you know, that's almost a sellout. It's still a problem for Chico with these two yellows.
Well, at some point you're going to have to make a play, and you know, Chico's sitting here playing real conservative defensive, and it could come back and bite him.
Well, the biggest mistake I think that Quagmire's going to make is pot this red and get out and on the other one. And if he doesn't get on the other one good, he can't get the cue ball over towards this 8 ball to try and break it out. And he's going to hook himself. Is he? No.
Now that was a hell of a shot.
I don't think he's got enough angle to do anything here, though. I think the best he'll get is running into the yellow. Well,
he could just shoot a stop shot here if he wants. That 8 ball's an easy shot.
Let's have a look.
It's sitting off the rail. There's no problem.
And he's trying to get to it, and he's got to it.
he went all out. See, I would have just stopped that ball. I wouldn't have taken the chance of doing that, because it wasn't going to be a hard shot.
Yeah, he wanted to make it easier.
You know, that's a game that Cheeky Chico should have never lost. I mean, he was just screwing around, not doing the right stuff, and he ended up losing. That was just poor strategy there. Right. After seeing that makes me think that Quagmire is the favorite in this, because, you know, when you've got 6 balls left on the table to 2 or 3 of your opponents, and, you know, you've got his balls all locked up, you should not be losing that game.
Well, Quagmire's scratching the break, and Chico's got his free shot. And he's played a safety with his first shot.
Yeah, it's wasn't the prettiest looking free shot we've ever seen.
But he's actually good now. I mean, there's no way that he should be failing to run out here. Look at these balls. Every ball's got a pocket.
Yeah. And he hit that one well. I mean, you know, this is a little stun draw back. Play the next one in the corner. I mean, this is what you want. Bump, 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 bump. You know, a bunch of stop shots.
Now he's in two minds as to what he's doing. Is he going to go through and go to the rail and take the other one up the rail? No, he's turned onto it. That's clever.
That was the right shot. It's just a bunch of stop shots. And this one you can just roll. I mean, this is... All right, well, maybe Quagmire's not the favor if Chico can do this.
Yeah, he had the right idea there.
Well, he played that very well. He played the table the right way. You know, when you can go stop, 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 that makes the game easy.
I mean, that's the perfect example of how to approach a situation when your opponent has just broke, scratch, you get the free shot, and be productive with it. And that's the ultimate punishment for the cardinal sin of scratching in the break. Yes, Bedhead. Wait a minute, what's Bedhead saying? Yep, that is true. Yep. You've got to know your limitations.
Yeah, but you got to have a little confidence too. Bedhead, you play good enough that you should have been in this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I think Bedhead didn't want to embarrass himself by not knowing the rules as well. I think that's the other thing about him and Spectre Dawn. They're not fully au fait with the rules of the game probably, and didn't want to do something daft and get embarrassed. But then, of course, you would learn as the tournament went on, but by then you might be in the one-loss side.
Well, now let's see what Cheeky Chico's going to figure out here, because he's got real trouble. He's got a big puzzle to solve. I would be thinking he wants to play table position here, not keep trying to run out.
Well, he's got himself in a little bit of a hole here, because there's not much you can do with that yellow other than cut it in and try and hit something. Yep, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, he was asking a lot at the angle he had.
Now, that set up with the two reds there, the best you could do is probably chip that red just to the rail at the point where it hits the other red, and at least knock the other red in the pocket rather than, well, in the jaws, if you know what I mean.
The problem with that shot is unless you hit it hard, that other red's going to stay right there and be blocked.
Yeah.
Now, if you could hit that with some speed, that other red's going to come out of there and go down table, and that's probably the right shot there. Is if you're trying to run out, is play that combo and hit it with some speed to get the other red out of there. The problem is it's going to go right down. The angle it's going to go is right towards that red and yellow down there that he just ran into, and then you're creating worse problems for yourself.
Well, Bedhead, take a lesson from Larry on last Friday night's Friday Night 9 Ball. Friday Night 9 Ball was full 20 minutes before the tournament started, and Larry shows up. And he ended up sitting in the bleachers.
See, Larry, there's one time, Larry, you weren't in the top part of the bracket.
Yeah, he wasn't even in it. Yeah, showed up late to the party. Doors were locked.
Well, I will tell you something about the cue ball, Bedhead, and why you probably can't get used to it. The cue ball is lighter than the other balls. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but on these pub tables, the cue ball is a little smaller than the other balls.
Yeah, normally.
And this ball visually is the same size.
Yeah.
But it plays like the smaller ball because it is actually lighter than the other balls. So basically the difference is the cue ball's light, and that does make it play a little different.
Well, Quagmire's, he's odds on to lose this if something dramatic doesn't happen off this shot. He's got no shot anywhere.
Well, he's got a shot here that he could play, but it's risky. Play the carom off the yellow into the side pocket and force follow down into that yellow near the pocket and get it out of there. That's a game-winning shot, but it's not an easy shot. But that shot is on right now at this angle. I think it's the cue ball is going to want to go maybe a little more sideways than you'd want. It might be hard to hit that yellow. It may come into the rail and go past it.
I think
nobody's going to look at crazy shots like that except me, anyways.
I think is he trying to bank this down to this corner? What's he trying to do? Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Yeah, that'll do it. He's still got
Well,
a problem though. Yeah, he's backed right into a corner. He's
well,
pretty.
that ball will go in the side pocket if you hit it absolutely perfect. That's about what it's going to take.
Yeah, but the best he's ever going to get out of this is another bank on that last red, I think. If he somehow had a shot on it from somewhere in the table.
No, I think he could cut this in the side pocket and get the cue ball right where he is right now, and shoot the other red on the same side.
Well, this is a good shot.
I think he can cut that ball in the side pocket and put the cue ball right back where he is, maybe a little right of where he is.
This is very, very tight.
Oh yeah, he has to hit this perfect to get this in the hole.
Yeah,
and that wasn't even close. That not only wasn't perfect. That wasn't even close.
Really, really tight cut.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to waft that ball with a blade of grass for it to get into the hole at that pace.
Yeah, and he way undercut that. So this is looking like another game for Cheeky Chico here.
Now, the only fiddly thing here, he's taking this yellow because I don't like the idea of taking that other yellow and then potting that one to get out onto the 8 ball somehow or other.
Yeah,
this is well, he's gone straight. He's poker straight.
This is not where you want to be.
Now he's going to try and pinch something or drop. And now it's ugly. Oh well, if he plays this, he's trying to cut it in the side.
I think that's a shot.
Oh, that's a shot. Well played. Yeah, let's see if the replay works.
That's definitely the shot. I mean,
that worked.
What's interesting about this match is that both these guys run balls well enough that, you leave them 5 or 6 open balls and they're going to run out. So the strategy does become really important in this. That's going to be the difference, I think, in this game is who plays a better strategy because they both can run out the easy tables.
Well, now that you've said that, Steve, look at this setup here with the yellows. I mean, they are all on. And Quagmire's trailing by 1, and this is a question asked of him: can he get out?
Yeah.
And you would say, if he can get onto this one in the bottom rail here, he's looking good. 8 ball wide open. I mean, you only have to move the cue ball and not do that.
Well, what he didn't understand was the induced English from the angle on that shot. He needed to hit that with a teeny bit of right English. He got away with it, but you didn't want to hit that red.
The cue ball's leaking up the table and running into stuff, maybe.
Well, remember what I was saying about don't be afraid to go to the other end rail? There was a perfect example of it. He wasn't on the right line anyways. You wanted to hit that and go in between that one red and yellow off the end rail and back out.
Yeah.
That's, trying to feather that ball in the hole at perfect speed. He even hit a little heavy and he still didn't get to the pocket.
Well, here's a big test for
this.
Chico, though. I mean, Chico's obviously blocked off. He's banked that red. I don't know whether he really wanted to do it.
Well, I mean, if he can put this where he's got him hooked on the...
he's trying to get that to follow in. He's going all guns now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea because even if he got him where he didn't have that one yellow, that other yellow is pretty easy carom off the red. Now, again, I mean, that's me looking at it, and I think those shots are easy, but I'd always be thinking that if I'm playing a safety where I'm not giving the guy the open ball, but there's a carom sitting there that's almost a guaranteed shot, you're taking a huge chance thinking, oh, this guy doesn't know that shot. Yeah, I mean, Cheeky is playing super aggressive, but he's made a couple long rail banks here, which aren't, automatic on this table. And right now it looks like Cheeky wants this bad and Quagmire doesn't.
Well, so daylight between the two of them. How does Quagmire respond? Bear in mind, Chico's stolen his break there.
Yeah, I'm right now. It's Quagmire better get something figured out because he's playing like, oh, I can win this, like he was playing against a guy that plays less than him, and that's not the guy he's playing. He's going to have to be more aggressive and play smarter if he's going to win, because he's already announced, I'm full out going for it. So for Quagmire to win, he just needs to play smarter.
Oh,
Yeah, it's this table is not an easy table. This is going to be a strategy game here. I'd probably shoot the one yellow and try to move those other ones right now. I wouldn't start shooting yellows like this because all you're doing is getting rid of the balls you can use to break out balls. He had the one yellow in the corner pocket. He could have drawn the cue ball off the rail and back into these other ones and, at least cleared the one out that, has the red block in the pocket.
he might be trying to play one into the side here and run down into these reds and yellows. He's going all.
Oh no, this is like craziness, and he just got lucky. And that's, if you're his opponent, you're just sitting there going, sheesh, he shoots a wild shot and comes out perfect. But that's going to happen sometimes. But that was not a well played shot. He just got lucky.
Yeah, but even though he's got lucky, is he going to be good enough to find his way out?
I would think so. I mean, I would think he could get out. Well, he just screwed up there. He wanted to shoot that red down there next. Now it's going to get tougher. I'm not sure he'll get out. He wanted to get both those yellows down there before he went up table.
Well, if he's coming back to try and get on this yellow down between the two reds, he has to get on it either just so that he's cutting it in and going behind the three reds off the rail. But he hasn't done that. He's pretty straight.
Well, it's not that hard to make this ball and draw back. It's getting the speed right's a little tricky.
Well, that's where the pockets have done him a big favour there. Look at the two knuckles right into the spot.
He's playing with the titties, and he got away with it.
Popman has gone through. I wonder why it took so long. But it's a comfortable win for Popman, 13 racks to 2. So that match lasted an hour and 37 minutes.
But he never changed his names over. Hugh.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I had. I must have changed it back. Wait a minute. We'll rectify that right now. There we go. No, I know what I did. I played the replay and I hit the wrong button to go back to the wrong presentation. That's what I did.
Well, if Quagmire keeps playing racks like that, they're not going to work out the way that one did. I mean, he got lucky a couple times in that rack.
Well, I think he's too straight in that yellow into the side to smack that and then run into the yellow in the 8-ball and open it up and try and go for the kill. Table's still open.
Because you know what follows good luck, don't you? That bad lucky guy.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't keep getting good luck. That's not the nature of this game.
See, if you had that slight angle below that yellow, he'd have bumped it in and ran into the other one.
Well, he can do it right now.
Oh, I think he's too straight.
No, he's perfect. Yeah, he's got just a very slight angle. He's got to cut this ball a little. He can do it right here. Just don't want to cut it too much. You need to be aiming this like, you got to aim in the black. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, you definitely can break it here. Yeah.
You know, you see that was loads of top, and the cue ball just squirts the other way.
Well, it's just either too much cut or too hard. You either got to reduce the speed or reduce the cut. You know, I mean, obviously with these side pockets, you got to make sure you get in the pocket. But if you think that's the angle you have to shoot it at, you gotta shoot less speed so the ball curves quicker.
Well, he's got to hit this hard to avoid 2 shots here, or a free shot, I should say.
Oh, this is an easy kick. I mean, if he's just trying to hit a ball, this is a simple kick. Well, obviously, he doesn't know how to kick.
Well, the problem situation is going to be dealt with immediately.
Those 2 balls in the middle of the table were gigantic. I mean, to not be able to hit those just means probably basically he doesn't do a lot of kicking.
Oh dear. Well,
that's not the way to use your free shot. Boy, talk about turnaround. Well, this still isn't over yet, though, because, you know, I mean, this table is not guaranteed automatic.
Yeah, I'm just reading Spud Boy's last sentence here. Chico knows how to move balls. That was it. That was it. Spectators' curse.
Well, I'm not sure what happened there. That looked like a... Oh, boy, this is just...
Well, that was an invitation to run the table there. That's gone.
I'd be shooting this ball in the side pocket for sure here, because I think it's tough if you go up table. Yeah, he got away with it. That was a well-played shot. I'm not sure if that's what he knew was going to happen, but the way he played it was actually very well done. He's a little unlucky that he's straight in.
He's having to try and move the cue ball, but
well, that's no good.
He's not even got a bank because he can't get to the bank angle. And plus, the yellow's in the way up table anyway. So all of a sudden, Quagmire's the favourite to square the match if he can take that chance.
Yeah, this table's pretty slippery. It's playing like, you know, new felt. I don't know what they put on these tables in the UK. I mean, tables have changed so much. They've all changed. Like the snooker tables play so much faster than they used to. It's probably the same with these too. Everybody's gone to these non-nappy cloths, and they're all fast and slippery. I mean, it's almost ridiculous watching the pool now, and like been watching this Predator 10-ball World Championships. You know, they're playing these diamonds are playing super fast rails. The cloth is very slippery and fast, and you know the guys that are winning are these guys that are. A lot of them are European because they're playing those conditions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just it's a big adjustment.
Well, he's going to that awkward angle again.
Yeah, well, you know, I think he's got some choices here. He could play a 2-way shot if he wants. I think he'll just try to pot this and roll it. If he misses this, he's going to give up the shot on the red. You could play a 2-wayer here, you know, but I think this is, well, now he's looking at maybe drawing it. He maybe is going to play a 2-wayer. I think it's a lot easier to pocket this ball if you just roll it, and you're going to get a good shot on the 8.
That's well done.
Yeah, that's what he decided to do. I think that was the right play.
Well, we might just have a match on here, guys. Good evening to Pop Man.
I think we do have a match on because both these guys, you know, are making a lot of mistakes, but they're both capable of running a bunch of balls.
Well, you got there, Pop Man. We didn't see the end of it because we abandoned you when you were pretty much over the line. But you're through. The bad news is your odds on to meet Larry. Larry plays John Boot, and Larry should be too strong for John Boot.
I'd like to see Larry do well in this tournament. I mean, I'd like to see Larry, at least get into the top 4.
Well, I think the thing in Larry's favour is that this is a smaller table, so he should be able to get a ball to a hole more often than he does when he's playing in the 9-foot table. Let's see if Larry responds to that one.
Just start talking about track balls again. Well, I think that Cheeky's got this one worked out. He got himself a little funny here. Let's see which one he's going to shoot. Nothing is automatic with these 3 balls.
Now, to me,
I would really be tempted to shoot the side pocket shot now, though.
Yeah,
I think that was the right move there.
No,
this is just going to be the this is going to be the how well do you control balls in a pocket. I think he's got a nice angle. He can just go 2 rails. I haven't played on these enough to know how much that bumper affects them.
Well, that'll do. That's got into the spot.
I think the shot was to put a little English on it, which he didn't, but he got away with it. Because I would have been playing at 8 for the side pocket. Well, let's see here.
Yellow goes in.
See if Quagmire can answer here.
Red goes in. Now, what's your choice? Of course, we've got a yellow and red locked up. Everything else is open. But if you're going to commit yourself, that yellow below the red there, that one there, is the one that you can play to break out that red and yellow. If you're going to make that choice, the problem is that he's got the yellow over the other side, so he can take that yellow. But how does he get down here for this yellow? That's the problem to play this breakout.
I like the reds. There's only one big issue. Like right now, he could shoot a ball and roll forward and get on this red in the corner and then run into this yellow red. The problem is it shoves the red right into that yellow by the side pocket. So
yeah,
that if you're going to take reds, you got to figure that one red that's locked up. How are you going to hit that thing so that it doesn't just shove onto another ball?
Well, it's actually the same problem for both of them because the red and yellow down this bottom right-hand corner have the same problem. You can pot either of them depending on what choice of balls you choose. And the one way of getting to it off the yellow is to go to the rail and run into the red and yellow. And as you say, the red, if you stun into the other red, you're going to push it straight towards that yellow, and it might be dead.
Hey, but you didn't know there was a third choice, which was no decision. You could just do what Quagmire did and miss the ball.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Now, what he did there is kind of interesting. Instead of hitting the red, he hit the yellow, and that's actually not a bad play because it got that red standing alone. I mean, this actually could work out really well if he understands how to get on it.
Now I think.
Well, that was a mistake there.
See, the big problem here, though, is we know there's a big gap on the left-hand side of the table between those 2 yellows. The problem is it's a little testy cut on the red into this corner.
Yeah, he put the cue ball in the wrong place there. He needed to hit that other ball easy and put it where he could drag the ball under these yellows. Going this way, I will say that the way he went, he got on that red about as good as you could.
Exactly, yeah. He actually finished not too bad.
Yeah, he got on that red as good as you could. I mean, that was a very good shot getting on that.
Well, it's another one against the break. 2 rack advantage. And dry break. Now this is where Quagmire really needs to study this table because look at these balls. I mean, this is perfect practice to move the cue ball.
You can't take the frickin' reds. I mean, they're obviously not as good. You got to take the yellows. I mean, it doesn't take. It takes one glance at this table to know you should be shooting yellow.
And the red the yellow that's next to that red there above the cue ball is the yellow that drops you onto this one at the bottom of the table. Now, the angle he's got in this yellow into the side, which he's just missed, is perfect because that's where he's landed. You know, he's landed perfectly on that yellow to drop onto the other one, but that's never going to be.
Yeah, well, it is going to be right now because Cheeky's going to take the yellows. And this should be a pretty easy table to run out. I mean, there's no trouble at all. And from what I've seen from Cheeky, you know, unless he does something dumb, he's going to run out because he seems to, you know, pocket balls and move the cue ball pretty well. Yeah, that was a little crazy there. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but that's not really where you wanted to put the cue ball.
Well, he's got to find a narrow window unless he stops it there in place to the right of the 8 ball. That's what he's doing. So now he'll probably, if he comes out, he'll still leave that second yellow there and get rid of the one into the side. This is as good a chance as he's got to go into the one into the side.
Well, that was terrible. He's drawing this ball. He needs to just hit this ball with a little top and pop right off the rail and shoot the ball in the side pocket. Instead, he drew himself into a terrible spot.
I haven't a clue what he did there because to me the obvious thing is you drop that in and you get the problem ball into the side.
Yeah, I mean, it was sitting perfect just to roll that ball, make it, and shoot the side pocket, and then the next one in the corner. I mean, that's all right. I guess I was boosting Cheeky Chico up too much because that was a simple situation, and he just screwed it up royally.
The pace that he hit that there, was he trying to move something? I don't know why he didn't see that shot. He was thinking.
It looked like he was thinking draw back and shoot that next ball that was next to it, where what he really wanted to do was roll it, shoot the side pocket shot, and then that next ball, and then the ball up an end rail. I mean, it was sitting as good as it could for just dink, 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 dink. Yeah, that's just a really bad pattern.
Right, well, Quagmire's prospects are not that great at the moment. He's got a very, very narrow window to take that first red up the top of the table. And he might have tried to do that there.
I'll tell you something, Hugh, though. It's a lot better than you just lost the game, which was what should have happened.
Yeah.
He's still playing this game, so his prospects went from 0 to, you know, even if they're only 20%, they're 20% better than they were.
He's going to hit something here if he pots this. He's hit the knuckle.
Oh, that was. Well, now's a chance to potentially make a move.
Mm-hmm. Now is he trying to do the little feather touch on the red, and he might scratch here if he tries to get delicate. I was looking at that red up in the top left there.
He can just bump this red ball in front of the pocket that's up at the upper left and leave him on a combination for that side pocket, which, you know, is no gimme.
See, now he's playing ping pong, and I think he's on it. He's on it, but of course he's got the last red that's no good.
I would have just moved the red he's shooting now in front of the corner pocket last time and put him on a combination on that side pocket ball, and the 8 ball would have blocked the other ball. I mean, it would have been, you know, who wants to shoot combinations into these side pockets?
You see, now he's got himself backed into a corner. If he pots the red, he pots the red. There's nothing else on, and then of course he's going to have a bang at this red ball to try and, you know, get it into a hole somewhere.
Well, the bad thing is that the 8 ball blocks the cross side bank. Well, other than the fact that he just gave up an easy shot, you know, I mean, that wouldn't have been a bad play if he could have put him on the combination like I was talking about earlier. But this is just no good because everybody can run these balls out. I could run out from here.
You sure?
No. I'm sure when I'm sitting in the commentating booth.
See, this is in a little. You got to do a little punch here to get this out. and go over for the 8.
He's got himself funny, or he could miss this ball just
see
like that.
That's what happens. Don't take liberties. You just can't get away with them. Well, I'm giving this to Quagmire. I can't see any disaster happening here other than he hits this 2-heart and it goes to the top rail.
No. You can definitely mess this up. This can be messed up.
Like that, you mean? Oh dear, that is poor.
That was sitting a little funny because he was afraid of putting that red on the end rail. What I probably would have done there is hit it harder and played that red for another pocket because, sometimes when they're sitting funny and trying to, shoot a shot where it's going to be difficult to get the ball to sit in front of the pocket, you're better off just hitting it with more speed. It's going to come out a couple rails and, like play it in the side pocket.
Well, I hope for Quagmire's sake that he's not looking at the scoreboard and thinking, I'm going to have to start taking risks here because, that'll play into Chico's hands if he's doing that, I think.
It's.
Well, I think he'll be choosing the red somehow or other because half of them have gone. 1, 2, 3 of them have gone in the break, and they're all sitting here. Well, there is the problem with the little combo.
Yeah, I would take the red chair only because those 2 balls that are tied up near the side pocket are difficult on the yellows. I never usually worry about how many balls you got to make, but those 2 balls right away make it tough. So now the question is, here, are you going to try to?
He's going forward and around.
Get between these. I would probably try to run into one, but
no. Well, that isn't the shot I would have played.
I certainly hope I wouldn't have done that.
I mean, to me, you pinch a little bit and you go forward and around at least to get the cue ball over this side and at the top end of the table on the red somewhere or other.
And he shot a trick shot.
Well, if you're 7-4 down and you've got a free shot and you've got the immediate task of dealing with this issue in the side pocket here, the other yellows on, you've got to get out.
This fixes all his problems because that was the only big problem right there. And he's played it well. I mean, barring some sort of silliness, you would think he's going to win from here.
Well, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be leaving that yellow over the side pocket as my bailout ball and also the ball just to drop onto the 8 ball. I wouldn't touch that yellow in the side pocket because I know I'm going to be potting it and dropping dead in the rail and just running the 8 ball in. What I'll be worrying about is getting down the bottom here, dealing with these 2.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's waiting to get those things out of the way. And I would have done it. I would have shot that other yellow and left the one in front of the side pocket because with these balls down here, you can get funny.
See, right now he's looking for problems, and there isn't a problem. All he has to do is get back down to the bottom half of the table here, sort this situation out.
See, he should have shot this ball a long time ago and then gone for those 2 corner ones because he had the ball in the side pocket in case something gets funny. Now, if he gets funny, he's in trouble. He shouldn't. I mean, this is pretty straightforward here.
Well,
no, not that one.
Exactly. I would take the other one first, but anyway, he should be fine. He should be fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Well, he got there his way.
Well, it was fine. I mean, either one of those was fine with the angles he had on him.
But again, it's vital that he took that chance when it was given to him. So he's done that at least. We'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, Quagmire's going to have to change the paradigm because what he's doing is, he's done some real silly things and it's not going to cut it.
Yeah, it's already taken the wrong shape, this scoreboard for Quagmire. It was looking good at 4-all, wasn't it? That we would have a match on.
Well, Cheeky Chico's sort of doing the right thing. He knows who he is. He knows where his game's at, and he's playing that game. And, he may not be the savviest player or the best pattern player, but, he's playing his game and he's doing it well. Where Quagmire just seems to be struggling with, trying to get out with pretty simple situations.
So that red that he's just bumped is the one he had to get out of the way for the other red between the two yellows, assuming it's going to go into this same corner pocket at some point or other.
Yeah, this is a little tricky because I'm not sure he can draw past it. You know, he was able to. I mean, it's just that stream's a little bit behind, and I think he's got a shot here, but it's just, boy, he's made it tough because.
I think he's fine. He can pot this and run around.
It's.
Is he?
This is a little tricky here. I'd almost think about shooting this other red first and trying to drop back into him, except that angle's tough too.
Well, if he runs into this yellow, he's got no shot.
That was tricky. I mean, the shot he played actually wasn't that bad. I mean, because all he's got to do is make this red. Go ahead and run into that yellow over there and shoot the 8.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the game right here.
Well, make it or hang it. He's played it well. That's a good shot.
Yeah, that was perfect. I mean, and that he hit it perfect too. All you had to do is make it. You didn't want to hit it hard. That was a very well played shot. I mean, he managed to get out there, and that there was a couple tricky things there, and he dealt with them pretty well. So, that was an impressive rack for Cheeky. Yeah. Think he likes to be called Cheeky or Chico?
I don't know. Cheeky Chico. Cheeky Chico.
That's too many syllables to say.
That's too Mexican. So it is Chico, considering he's English.
Well, maybe he's Mexican living in England. You don't know that.
No,
maybe he's second generation Mexican.
I was listening to him on his live stream that he did on the stub match. But he's definitely English. I can't pinpoint the accent though.
Well, he could be second generation Mexican living in England.
Could well be. But he's looking good. 9-4 lead. Big pressure on Quagmire.
Well, this is. See, I don't get that. He could have just stopped that and shot the red in the side pocket.
The one in the side pocket. Well, it's a bit tight though. It's a bit tight.
But all he had to do was stop it. It was sitting perfect to stop it. Like if you said he had to draw it back, 2 inches, well then I'd agree. I'd say, yeah, maybe you don't want to do that. But when all you have to do is stop the ball, I mean, everybody can just stop the ball. I would think at this level, they should be able to just stop the ball. I bet he didn't even look at it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't spend much time assessing the situation, which again is my biggest criticism of players. They don't take a full grasp of where everything's lying, and then knowing, changing their pattern if it comes to be that they're on. I mean, that red, as you say, the gap's there, and if he'd stopped it stone dead and he got himself on it, then he was in a better shape than he is now. Well,
he would have had a slight angle, and he could have rolled forward and gotten on both these other red balls. I mean, it was sitting perfect to do that.
Well, that tactic there has kept him in the game for the time being. He's now got control of the top end of the table. Chico's going to... Well, I don't know what he's doing. Is he just trying to cut this and run back to the top rail?
Well, unless he can get safe, trying to move that yellow's not any good.
He might be trying to come across to the 8 ball. I don't know. Let's see how much room he's got here.
I'd be trying to get a free ball.
Yeah, he couldn't see much of that yellow.
See, when you got all these balls here like this, it's real easy just to hit one and lock the cue ball up on another yellow. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to do there, is lock it where the guy's like got to kick, 2 rails, and he could give you a free ball. He could hit your ball out of the way. Do something, to make your opponent have to perform. By trying to run these balls, he's going to get himself in a situation where he has to perform. Now that's better. That's a smart play there. That's the kind of thing you want to do. Just when I was losing hope that he was going to do a complete dummy this rack, he got smart.
Who is it you play next, Sammy? How are they 18 hours ahead? Where are they? Hawaii? You know, they can't be in Hawaii. They must be in eastern Russia.
I don't know. I don't know why being 18 hours ahead is any different than being any other number of hours ahead. You have to understand, Semi, that when somebody is looking at their scheduler and they're looking at the tournament bracket, everything they see is in their local time.
Yeah.
So if it's the next day and you're trying to send them a schedule that says I want to play on Wednesday, then it's going to say Thursday to them. It's going to show them their local time. And I can tell you right now, getting time right for all this stuff, especially on the web stuff, was a nightmare. Because the thing you got to realize is that the server, you can't rely on the server knowing what your local time is. Which means the client has to be the one that tells. It's very tricky doing time on a web server stuff.
Hello, I am Natalia.
Hi.
Well, what was that, Hugh?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's me.
I heard I am Italia. Are you playing sound effects?
No. No, it was just me moving. Sorry to bombard your commentary. You know, Little Wolf had that mishap earlier. I understand why now. On his schedule, it says Glenn O'Brien is 16 hours ahead of him, which turns out to be 8 a.m. for Little Wolf's time.
Where does Little Wolf come from?
It's only showing you how many hours difference you are, so that you have some understanding of your opponent's time. But all the times that you're scheduling are in your local time, and all the times he's scheduling are in his local time.
Yeah, but the problem is that he's actually 18 hours ahead. So how do you work out a schedule when someone's 18 hours ahead and 18 hours behind?
I don't understand the question. If you're both looking at your local times, it always makes sense. You're scheduling things in your time.
But I think what Semi's getting at, you're talking about how do you offer a proposal to a guy that has a big time difference where it's going to be something suitable for him.
Well, but that's why there's a back and forth. You don't know. Maybe he works a night shift. Maybe the time that's good for you is wonderful for him. You don't know that. All you can do is propose things, have him come back. Now, when you both are, it's obviously seeing that, okay, we both work like 8 to 5 and we're having trouble. That's when, somebody's going to be up late or early, or maybe the weekend, days off. So, that's why it's important to start early. Start this process of going back and forth early and get an idea. You can always send a message, hey, okay, obviously we got a problem. What days do you have off? Or this is my day off. I could play, at this time on this day that might be better for you. That's the whole reason this match scheduler was written, so you can go back and forth with things. And you can always send a message if you think you need to, but it's either going to come out as a funny time for somebody, or you're going to find a day off where a funny time isn't really all that funny. I mean, everybody can probably stay up late on their day off, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you do anyways.
That's why if any of the guys from the States or any of these far-flung countries are arranging a match, if they arrange it for the middle of the night my time, but it's on a Wednesday morning or Thursday morning for me, that's fine. I've not a problem with that.
I mean, the only time you run into problems is when you got a guy like Stubb who doesn't want to respond to you and starts playing games. Then you got a problem. But you shouldn't have a problem just because people are funny hours differences. Somebody's over in Asia and they're happen to be the next day.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pass on a message.
Before you go, Semi, what's the score with the match? The match that I'm missing, John Higgins and Robertson.
Oh, I'm not watching that. I'll find out for you.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
See you later.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you guys have no idea how hard it was to get the times right on this thing and get the scheduler to work right. So we had a lot of trouble, but you know, it does what it's supposed to. It allows you to try to schedule things in your local time. And players just got to try to work it out. And we're at 10 days right now between these matches, so get to it early.
Does it not tell you? Does it not tell you in the scheduler or when you get the proposal through what his time is or something, Steve?
It does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it tells you his local time. I think it tells you the time difference. I don't remember.
I think it does. Larry will confirm that. He'll know.
Yeah, I mean, you guys would know better than I. I wrote the code, but I never use it.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does tell you. It says, like Larry is on such and such a time or whatever. I think it tells you that on the proposal. So that
it tells you something. I don't.
Yeah, and even that gives you a better idea how to offer
Larry's
your next proposal.
Larry's saying it tells the time difference.
Aye, the time difference. Well, there you are then. So you can sort of work it out that offering to play a guy at 3 o'clock in the morning, his time is not a good idea.
Well, you don't know that though. You can't assume anything because
until
you can't
sent the first proposal. Yeah.
What the other guy's lifestyle is like, when he works, what his hours are like, what's good for him. I mean, you just can't do that. You just got to start sending. If you don't know the guy, you don't know what he's like when he's on VP. You just got to start sending proposals and see what he sends back. But it's a real problem when somebody sends a proposal and then the next guy waits 4 days to send it back. And then he wonders why, people aren't understanding. Stubb likes to do this where, I see, like just in the last match, Albin sends proposals and Stubb doesn't respond. Everybody should try to respond as quickly as possible because when you have these issues with time or work or whatever, you're going to have more days to get them worked out.
Now, I've got a question for you as regards that, Steve. See if I go into my profile and I have all the boxes unchecked in my profile in terms of notifications and stuff. If I'm signed up to an NRT tournament, right, and I've got no notifications on my profile, and let's say I don't send a proposal, but let's say my opponent sends a proposal, am I going to get that proposal automatically regardless?
Only if you log into VP4, because when you log into VP4, you'll have a message. Yeah. But if you're expecting an email, no. Right. You need to go. Need to go in there and turn that notification on. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with people saying, okay, I want to limit the number of emails I get, and I don't want to get this sort of email from Solaris. That's fine. But you should, if you're going to play in the tournaments, you should at least turn it on the match notifications.
Well, I'm pretty certain that there's some people in these tournaments that are probably not.
Yeah, well, the default is everything's. Well, I'm not sure if it's everything. Most stuff is on. I know the default is that you will get them. So somebody would have to turn them off to not get them.
Right. Well, Quagmire needs to turn everything on if he's going to survive, but I think it might be too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a story of Chico just playing his game and being comfortable with it, and Quagmire, I know Quagmire's got to play better than this. I can see in, how he plays that he is better than he has played in this match.
Well, he's got himself tied up here again. There's a bit of a hit and hope to try and get a bit of luck. But he's still got the blocking balls in the bottom left-hand corner to keep him in the rack.
Yeah.
So carry on, Steve.
I will say, guys, that, we're having a lot less forfeits in these world championships. And I think part of that is because players are being more proactive and checking more and being better about scheduling matches. And I think part of it's that we went to 10 days and 5 days, which gives more time. I mean, just that one extra day in a loser's bracket is a big thing. So, I appreciate everybody, trying to get to them. And I think the system is working. Obviously I'm not a big fan of what Stubb has done in some of these things. And he's on thin ice as far as the scheduling and stuff, the way he goes about it. Wanwa forfeited. Well, I don't know what Wanwa's deal was, but it's hard to figure out Wanwa. Let me just leave it at that.
What is he forfeited his match in the 8 ball, in the black ball? I never noticed that in the bracket. But he's been on the black ball tournament page ranting about other things. Anyway.
Yeah, why did Wanwa form? Who knows? Did he send you a proposal, Cobra?
Well, I think you don't want to ask Wanwa why he forfeited, because it'll be a 20-page dossier to give you a full explanation in pidgin English. You don't want that. Right, well, this should be okay. Little gentle. Well,
why is Wanwa complaining about ratings?
Because he wants to have a big rating. That's as simple as that. He wants to have a big number rating.
What does that even have to do with this tournament? He's going on and on this. I'm looking at this now. I hadn't looked at this.
You don't want to look at. You don't. I just look and see
God.
I see a big block of text and then I steer well clear of it. I don't read it.
Well, obviously these guys haven't dealt with Wanwa before. I have. I mean, I mean, he's right. We are part of a family, and I mean, we've got a great community, and but I don't know what he's going on about. So he says we're all brothers linked by a passion. Okay, and what's the point of all this?
Well, the point is, don't make the mistake of making a response and asking him what the reason is, because as I say, you'll just get more.
He's going on about the fines for Stubb being 2,000, everybody 3. What he doesn't understand is the fine is increasing. Okay, so Stubb is up where he is from getting fined and having it increase. Everybody else is going up to 2,000 too if they keep quitting.
Yeah,
it's an increasing fine. It's not a fine just for Stubb. Okay, Stubb is where he's at because he keeps quitting. So the first person that quits at 300, if they quit again, it's going to be 600. Then it's going to be 1,000. Then it's going to be 2,000. So it's going to do the same thing for everybody.
Yeah, hurt them in the pocket. If they don't learn that way, then they're going to end up with nothing in the bank.
But that's why you don't want to make assumptions about things. That's the worst thing you can do is make assumptions about how people think or why this is like that, or I mean.
Well, I'm assuming this is over.
Yeah, this is ugly. I mean, Wanwa went on me about he plays some Filipino rotation. He goes, well, this is just the same game. I'm like, what? I mean, that one rule about being able to spot the ball, the way they play that completely changes the game. It's nothing like the normal rotation rules. It's probably further from the normal rotation rules than 10 ball is from 9 ball. But, that's the comment he gave me is, well, this is just the same game. But if you ever bothered to watch it, I just watched Dennis Okoye play Anton Raga race to 18 rotation. took me 3 nights of watching to see the whole thing. It's about 5.5 hours, I think. And it's just phenomenal. And if you watch how they play and what they do and how that rule changes it, it's pretty amazing. It's not like rotation, the normal rotation rules at all.
What is that? Is that on a YouTube channel or is it just a general video? Whose channel is it on?
It's Anton Raga's channel, Anton Raga Official. And last night they just posted another one, Race to 31 10 ball, which I have not watched yet. But the rotation was posted earlier in the week and or last week, and it's by far the best rotation match I've ever seen, and it's one of the best pool matches I've ever seen. Well, I mean, it's a phenomenal match.
I'll watch that on my day off then.
Oh, you'll enjoy it. And I'm going to start watching the 10-ball match tonight. I'm not going to tell you who won the rotation match because I don't want to ruin it. I'll just tell you it was a great match, tremendous strategy in certain games. And I'm sure the 10-ball is going to be good too.
Now, can Quagmire hang in there?
One Pocket Slim wants to know where the fine goes. It's called, it goes out of his pocket and into the ether. Now, the only thing I haven't done is I haven't put in a formal fine system in, and I need to do that so that it shows up in your charge history. Because right now the money just disappears.
Yeah,
it really needs to show up in the charge history that you were fined this amount.
Yeah, I think the fine should get into the pot.
Well, you know, that's...
And it gives... now, there's two ways to look at that, Steve. First of all, it gives the other players a slightly bigger share of the pot, but it also gives the guy that's had the fine the chance to win his money back.
No, I'll tell you what we ought to do is we just ought to keep all the fines for a year and then have a tournament where all the money in the tournaments from the fines. Of course, that would mean that Stub would probably be funding the whole tournament.
We'll call it this. We'll need to think up of a good name for that tournament. Right, well, yeah. Anyway, Quagmire survives another rack.
Yeah, he's on pretty thin ice here. If there's ever a time to run out, now would be it. And this is a tough choice here, but not really that tough. I'd take the reds for sure. I mean, the yellows just aren't sitting good.
If you ever, I was watching a clip on YouTube today. I don't think you'll have seen this, but I can't remember what tournament it was. But Ronnie O'Sullivan was playing, and it was live on Quest TV. It was also live in Eurosport, and he was playing a match, and he was using the rest, and he potted a ball, and as he moved the cue as he was looking at the cue ball moving around the table, and nobody noticed anything. I don't know whether anybody in the audience noticed, because the audience didn't say anything, I don't think. The referee never said anything.
It's amazing.
And the curious thing is, the only person that noticed was the commentator. And at the end of the match, now I think Ronnie won the match, right? And at the end of the match, Ronnie came into the studio and he was talking to Jimmy White was there, and the guy that was presenting it, and somebody else was there, I can't remember who. And what they did is they said, "Look at this, Ronnie. Have a look at this and see if you see any problem with this shot." And he's looking, and Ronnie's looking. No, I can't see anything. And then and he watched it again the second time, and then they said, "Have a look at your cue." And Ronnie brushes his cue. He takes his cue off the rest, or off the bridge, as you guys say, and he brushes the red that's near the bunch of reds, and he carries on. And nobody said anything. And then Ronnie's response was, "Ah, shit." He noticed he fouled the red. And of course, it wasn't called. And of course, he carried on. And Ronnie said, "Well, look, I'll replay the match if you want." There's no way he wanted to win by creating a foul like that. But as I say, nobody noticed it. Not Ronnie didn't feel it because he just, when you skim a ball running down your queue, you don't really feel it, especially when he was taking it off the rest. And
Yeah, but if snooker is like most things, only 3 people can call it.
yeah,
You, your opponent, and the ref, and nobody else can.
mm-hmm. And
I played in this thing that was a team thing. Okay, we're playing in the finals of a team thing. It was state team 8-ball championships, and there's probably 300 people watching both teams, and I watched my guys playing one of their guys, and the guy shoots a jump shot. Okay, and he fouls because the cue ball nicks the object ball he's jumping over.
Mm-hmm.
This thing moves about a millimeter. I was the only person in the whole room that saw it, but I can't say anything because you're not allowed to tell your teammates, hey, he fouled. So that guy ended up winning the game. We ended up losing the state championship, and that was a costly thing, and nobody in the whole room saw it. I mean, it happens more than you think, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie also said, well, if the commentator saw it, why didn't he say anything? The commentator's in the commentary box; he can't say anything. Why didn't he stop the game?
No, yeah, that's the thing. Is in most rule sets you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like it is over for official here.
Yeah. Well done to Cheeky Chico.
Simanx wants to know if I want to enter the WC. Why would I want to do that to myself?
Yeah, I mean that's more than a mild form of torture. That one. Let's have a look at this bracket. Do a quick update. Well, we'll start from top to bottom. We've got Albinario still to play Simanx. When are you playing Albinario, Simanx? Mal's scheduled tomorrow night at 6:30, so that's against Brainfill out. It should be a comfortable win for Mal, I would think. Spudboy is playing later on tonight against Bankster at 10 p.m, so that's 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And who else have we got? We've got MC Clarkey still to arrange his match with Dirties or Dr. Ties, however you say that one. We've got Snake Eyes, who's a competent player. He's yet to produce the goods against Azad, and that is on Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'll be there for that one. And Sylvia is waiting for the winner of that match. We have Larry still to arrange with John Boo. And as I said, Larry should be playing Popman in round 2 unless some disaster happens. And then further down, we've got Cobra, who has now been advanced because Wanwa has forfeited. DJ Simon to play Tommy. I think that'll be a good match to watch. And we have Semi-Pro is through to round 2 from the LS3 match. And that's going to be a good match because Cheeky Chico is now lined up to play Semi-Pro. So that's going to be Semi-Pro's first big test. And then, of course, in round 2 also, we have Zangetsu lined up to play Stub. And in round 2, we've got Mark Sharp waiting on the last match, which there was that match that was rearranged, or still to be rearranged, with Glenn O'Brien and Little Wolf. And that is us up to date. So,
Popman, I'm not going to drop dead yet.
Still, will there be a day when you decide to call a day? Of course there will. I mean, that will happen at some point.
It'll be the day I drop dead.
But that's why we've got all these videos on YouTube. So you can all look at them at some point. What was I going to say? I'll be there tomorrow for that match and Tuesday. So the matches are going to start to get good. We're going to start to see some good competition.
I'm planning on being there tomorrow for Mal's match. I want to see that. I think that's going to be a fantastic match.
Well, I think I think Mal is. I think Brainfella will do well to win 2 racks. I'll stick my neck on the block right now. He'll do well to win 2 racks. Mal's got too much upstairs. to be dealing with brain fallout. So that's going to be a pretty strong match for Mal, I would suggest.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mal play because I haven't seen him play black ball, and I think Mal's a fantastic player.
Yeah, well, he'll still have to find his feet. Yeah, it'll take him maybe a rack, but I don't foresee any major problems against brain fallout. I think he'll be way too good and too clever for him. But you never know. You know, miracles can happen, strange things can happen. But so if you're going to be there tomorrow, I'll have Discord on. You just drop in whenever you remember the game's on, Steve.
Yeah, that's always the key thing is remembering.
Right, guys. Thanks to Steve. Thanks to all you guys joining. It's good to have your company. And I hope to see you again at some point in the tournament. There's bound to be more matches. And we will bid you good night. Same to you, Steve. Take care.
Yep. Good
and
night,
stay safe.
Good night, guys.
And we will see you all again soon.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
beaten the champion of champions final, and indeed the Scottish Open. That lit a fire in that devotion today. He wants to avoid those feelings.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious.